Hey, what's going on, guys? Tim with Reptiles, bringing you another video today. If you are new to the channel, appreciate you stopping in. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything going on. If you're returning, welcome back. Welcome back. Today's topic is going to be a little bit different. We're kind of trying to keep everything transparent as we go through our different moves that we've been working on over the last couple of years, and just kind of to help out and bring information to you guys, our viewers. When things change for everybody, no matter what their status in this hobby or anything is, things change all the time, and I feel it's important to kind of share some of that with you guys on what happens. And we just ran into a situation where we decided that we're going to make a change and change our standards, so to speak, to see if that helps out the issue that we have ran into this year. So we want to bring you guys along, so we're going to jump right into it. We'll roll the intro. We'll see you guys in a second. Alrighty, guys, and welcome back. Welcome back. As you guys see, we have a couple things in front of us. So this is one of the topics that we're going to talk about today. We have experienced and noticed some things that are unsettling during this year, during our incubation. And basically, I want to say up front, this video is not to stray anybody away from things that you're using or ways that you're doing things. If it works, great. This is just us being transparent and sharing the information that we have started running into. And pretty much, as the title says for the video, it's just a change of standards to try to see if this can help alleviate the issues that we're having and make everything continue to be a good situation. So basically what we have here today is, you guys see I'm in front of my cart. We have a big bag. We have our little box. If you guys have ever watched our videos where we're pulling eggs from females as they're laying, you guys recognize this box. So this box, basically the main issue that we have noticed this year, we're about, I want to say I think we have 16 or 17 clutches on the ground. All clutch 1 through 9 have all hatched out of the egg. So we're basically in the halfway spot of our hatchling season. And don't get me wrong, guys. Throughout the breeding year and seasons, you guys might run into some issues where you're like, what is going on? Why is this happening? Things happen. Always look into if there is possibly a reason why it's happening. Definitely do your research. Definitely make sure that everything that you're doing is up to par the way it should be. But still, things happen. We see that when we breed a female and she lays us good eggs and then she lays us slugs. That's out of our control. We can't help that. So when going into the incubation process, we've pretty much used almost every source out there when it comes to incubating over the years that we've been breeding and dealing with ball pythons. In that sense, we have found things that we don't like. We have found things that work great for us for a very long time. And that's the topic today. For the last, I want to say at least 6 years, and honestly for 6 years, you're talking well over 100 plus clutches over 6 years. And we have, been a huge fan and used vermiculite for our substrate in our egg boxes when we incubate. We found our method. Everything was beautiful. Now, in that start, I had always wanted to do what they call coarse, which is the thicker and bigger pieces of vermiculite. It definitely helps with cleaning, and when animals are starting to hatch out and stuff like that. But when we first ordered our first bag, we went to a farmer's co-op that was local to us. Sealed bags, everything was good, but they didn't have any in stock. So basically what we did was we had to buy the smaller bags. This is pretty much a bulk bag next to us, but we had to buy the smaller bags, which were produced by, I don't know how to put it, but basically it was labeled and branded from a different company. So this is something that you could probably buy at Home Depot, stuff like that. Any gardening store, Ace Hardware, whatever's close to you. But in that, on the bag, it definitely stated, 100% vermiculite. There's no chemicals, no pesticides, no anything else. It's just pure vermiculite. So we ended up using that for, like I said, 5, 6 years. It was perfect. Now, the only issue was we couldn't get the coarse stuff, the bigger, chunky stuff. It was the more fine. It worked. The system worked. Everything was beautiful. We hatched out a ton of great babies. Um, and yeah, it was great. Now, over the years, obviously, if you're a breeder and you're having, multiple clutches, it's cheaper and better to buy in bulk. Um, so we just kept buying I think it was the 5 quart bags or something like that. But they were pretty much the medium sized bags. That would get us through a whole year, and we buy one of those every year. So moving forward, we went and again it came time to get more vermiculite for this year's season. We went and purchased, I believe it was the end of 2024, just to be ready and have everything on hand. So as you could tell, we went with a huge, big bulk bag. We decided, hey, instead of buying bags every year like we have been doing, we'll just get one big bag, and then that should hold us over for at least 2 years, and we'll be good. We don't have to make any stops. It's an extra expense that we can take off. So when we went to our farmers co-op, the same place that I was buying the other stuff, they were out of the smaller bags. Go figure. So this kind of worked out in our favor, to kind of push us to do and hold tight to the plan that we had going to the store. So basically, they were out of the smaller bags. We asked them about the pure vermiculite, but in the big bulk bags. This is what they gave us. Big bag. It says vermiculite on it. This is 4 cubic feet. This is a big, huge bag. So we asked. The bags are sealed and they're white, so you can't really see. You can see a little bit through the side, but it's not hands on the product when you open it. Basically, we told them this is what we were using. Is this the same? They looked it up. They said, yes, this is the fine graded stuff. Well, unfortunately, we got it back to the house, and, we got our first notion of an ovulation. So we decided we're going to make up some boxes and make sure everything's good, get everything ready, fill our little bin that we use because we don't like carrying this around. We put this in storage here at the house. But so we filled our bin, and when we opened the bag, we noticed that what we had purchased, in fact, was not the fine course. And just to show you guys, was not the fine course stuff. This is actually, so this was actually ended up being the bigger piece, the coarse stuff that we originally wanted to get in the beginning. Now, in that matter, I wasn't really, stressed about it. Basically, it's vermiculite. It's 100% vermiculite. It's just a different bag, different company that makes it, but everything should, in theory, be the same. So we ended up using it. Then we started noticing that we started having clutches hatch out. So the first couple clutches, we ended up with the finer stuff, and then moving. I think it was probably clutch 5. We started using the coarse stuff, the bigger grade stuff from the new batch that we just got. So basically, everything with incubation has not changed. We've been in this facility for almost 3 years. Nothing has changed. The incubator has not changed. Everything's good on the incubator. But we started noticing when we were hatching out certain combinations, even with genetics, we were noticing a lot more kinked babies. We've had quite a few kinked babies this year so far. We were noticing that snakes were developing in the egg, and they were moving and everything's good, and then out of nowhere, everything, we lost a couple in the egg during incubation, and we basically just couldn't figure out what the issue was. We're used to hatching out about 100 babies a year. If I see 1 or 2, things happen, okay, that's, it happens. But when you start seeing, I think right now, this year, we have already had 9 animals either that were kinked real bad or that didn't make it out of the egg. So immediately, we start seeing a red flag. We start seeing, okay, what's going on? Let's dial in and check out everything going on. So we go through, we check our incubator, we, use the temp gun, go through the incubator, make sure everything's working, everything's where it's supposed to be, check the thermostat, everything's good, make sure our fans in our incubator is working, and everything was good. So there was no change, and it was only certain clutches, like every other clutch, or, it wasn't every clutch. So when we started noticing that, I started looking into what we recently had changed. Obviously, we make a lot of good friends in this hobby that we're in and everything like that. So we started reaching out and seeing if anybody else has ever thought about, could it be a substrate thing, or just get some info from the outside, because I had found no issues with our setup or anything changed. Um, and then we talked to a friend of ours, and he asked if we had recently moved vermiculite. And that was an immediate red flag, because we were using the smaller bagged products from the actual like name brand companies, and then we recently had moved to this big bulk bag, which changed the vermiculite consistency. um, and we basically noticed, I think we had one from the old bedding, the finer stuff, that there was a baby that didn't make it out, but also in that egg, the animal didn't really absorb all of the yolk. So I'm not sure if I can say bedding related on that. But most of the other clutches where we've seen kinks and issues in the eggs, um, it was on the big course, the new vermiculate stuff. So can we say that the vermiculite is the issue? No, but it's the only change that I've done here. Now, talking to our friends, they said that they experienced the same thing a few years ago when they changed to the bulk bag of vermiculite, and their best guess is that there's some type of extra minerals or something going on that I'm not really sure. I don't work for them. I haven't contacted the company. So basically, yeah, we just decided that was the only thing that we changed. So moving forward in this season for 2025, we have decided that we are going to take all bedding out of the equation, and we're just going to do the water in the bottom of the tub. We do have some Orbeez that are ordered. I've seen a lot of people use the Orbeez and been mentioning, that's a new incubation method that they've been trying, and it's been working. So we went ahead and ordered some Orbeez. We're going to get those in, do some test runs in some tubs in the incubator, and see how that goes. And that's our final, goal. We want to go to the Orbeez, but I want to test it first. Right now, we just had a clutch lay a couple days ago, and that was the first clutch where we were like, okay, we're gonna just try straight water and see if that works. Um, but yeah, guys, I hope I don't want to drag this video out too long, but again, we're not saying, if you guys use vermiculite and you have no issues, that's great, perfect, keep rocking it. But just basically wanted to share our little experience, and basically show and tell what we've seen this year so far with hatchlings. It definitely is a bummer, because some of the clutches where the animals were kinked pretty bad, they were really, a few of the clutches that we were really, really hoping to get some crazy animals from. So it definitely is a setback. So it's just a little reminder of trying to make sure, stay on point, guys. Make sure you're always checking your stuff. Even if you're in a facility or a place, 4 or 5 years, it's always good just to go around, especially whether it's your incubator that, like, we're having an issue, the incubator, your rack systems, check your probes, make sure that everything's good, because one little thing that changes, it could really disrupt the strive to have a great season. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like I said, we checked the incubator. There was no issues with the incubator. Everything's running and operating the way it should be. Temperatures are consistent, and for us, like I said, the only thing that we did was we did change the vermiculite company. So pretty much we take out the new thing that we did, and we're just going to go back to water currently, which, there's nothing in the incubation box besides water, the egg tray, and the eggs. So hopefully, we'll see how that goes and keep a close eye on that to see if we see any more issues moving forward. we're down to, I think we have maybe 4 or 5 clutches due to continue to lay for us. So we have a few options to check on that and see if we have any issues with those clutches moving forward. But yeah, hopefully next year we're going to be full-fledged on the Orbeez and try that out. So again, just a quick video. Wanted to share with you guys some of the issues that we had and what we're doing to try to fix those issues as we're going through our season. Now, I will say we do have, I think, 6 clutches still in the incubator that are in their incubation stage. They're still on the vermiculite. We definitely weren't gonna change the egg box and take that out and put them on water and continue incubating. We're gonna let those ride because it's gonna be more stressful to move the eggs and get them on a different incubation method in the middle. So we just leave those alone and just moving forward as we get new clutches, we'll start doing the water and then keep you guys updated on the process with the Orbeez as well. So we're excited to see how we can change things up and make things better and get rid of the issues that we've been having this year. Again, guys, I just wanted to put that out there for you guys. Hopefully, you take some learning from my mistakes, and you guys don't have to go through it. Or it might just get you to check on everything more frequently than you might. So we appreciate you tuning in and checking us out, and thanks for watching.